Hello and welcome to Forbes India. Today we have with us Mr. Abhishek Singh, Additional Secretary of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, an officer of the 1995 batch. He is the man of the moment because he's the CEO of India AI Mission. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to join you.
Sir, could you talk to us about India's AI mission and how far we've reached on it today, as well as the kind of progress we have seen in the last 2 years?
So, India's AI mission, like when it was conceptualized, it was like designed to ensure that we do everything possible to fill in the gaps that exist in India's AI ecosystem. Our strong point has been the talent that we have, because our engineering talent has been known world over for building IT services, IT products for the whole world. Our engineers are part of almost every big tech company in the world. Some of them are even leading it. Our Indian IT industry has been at the forefront for solving problems. Within India also, we have used technology to solve governance problems, whether it's Aadhaar, whether it's UPI, whether it's DigiLocker and other projects that we have. In fact, the entire digital public infrastructure story globally is known because what India has done. So, given that, we felt that when we have so much of talent and we have so much of capability, why is it that we are so much behind US and China when it comes to AI? So, we looked into the gaps which are there, and primarily it was like the amount of compute that was available, making available data sets, making available funding for startups, creating an ecosystem in which we can build Indian models, foundation models, instead of being dependent on foreign LLMs. So, with this in mind, we conceptualized the 7-pillar strategy for India AI mission, which primarily includes making provisioning for the, when it was approved, it was required to say make 10,000 GPUs available at an affordable cost to our researchers. With a very innovative funding model and with the innovative way of incentivizing the industry to invest into the compute infrastructure, today we have almost 38,000 GPUs that have been made available at a very low cost, at a cost of an average cost of rupees 65 per GPU per hour, which is much lesser compared to the global prices of $2.5 to $3. So, on compute we have moved ahead significantly, but given our size, I think we need to invest much more and make this compute accessible much more. That will be happening in the next few months. Then we have also set up a datasets platform, AI Kosh, which has got almost 6,000 datasets presently, which is enabling availability of datasets to all those who need it, whether it's AI researchers, whether it's startups, AI industry, those people who are building AI applications and solutions. Then we are also funding around 12 initiatives for building Indian large language models and small language models. Some of it we recently met the Honorable Prime Minister and showed the progress that they have made. In fact, some of the projects have made significant progress, whether it's Sarvam or BharatJain or Shodh or Socket or GAN or Gyani, they have made significant progress. And what we believe is that when we host the Impact Summit, some of it will be showcased to the whole world. So, we have moved significantly forward on the foundation pillar also. Then we have an application development pillar, which ultimately, because citizens and people and enterprises will be able to benefit only when there are AI use cases for farmers, for healthcare, for agriculture, for education. So, we are funding lots of applications over there. We have almost 40 applications which are developed, which have been currently scaled up in partnership with the state governments and in partnership with the concerned departments. Then we have a skilling pillar, because even though we are strong in skilling, we do believe that we need to provide sustained support to retain that advantage. So, we have fellowships which we give at undergrad level, postgraduate level and research level, so that students can take up AI projects. And these fellowships are not limited to only engineering or science students. These fellowships cut across disciplines. So, whether you are studying medicine or whether you are law or whether you are doing commerce, economics or liberal arts, you can avail of these fellowships if you are working on an AI project. Then we are also setting up data centers across the country, because we do believe that lots of jobs will be created in the data economy, wherein people will be required to do data annotation, to do data science, data analyst works. So, we are setting up almost 600 data labs across the length and breadth of the country, which will train the youth in tier 2, tier cities for taking up the data level jobs. Then we have another pillar, which is the startup financing pillar, under which we are providing funding support to startups when they need the most. We are setting up a fund of funds through which we can provide funding for pre-seed startups at the seed stage, at the maturity stage. So, that is again for startup financing pillar that we have. And last but not the least, we have a safe and trustworthy pillar, because whatever AI we develop, it has to conform to safety norms, it has to conform to responsible AI principles. So, under that we are taking up several projects to build tools to ensure compliance to AI governance guidelines, to ensure that AI is developed in a safe, responsible, trustworthy manner. We also have come out with our India AI governance guidelines, which prioritize innovation over restraint, but lay down benchmarks and standards that are required for building trust, for ensuring accountability, for ensuring explainability, for understandability, and ensuring that AI is used for the larger social good and limit the harms that it can cause. So, that is the kind of, in a brief short, the 7-pillar strategy of AI mission and where we are today.
Right. And so we've been talking about sovereignty for India when it comes to AI, right? So how far have we gone on that, and like what is the future outlook? How long till we actually become sovereign in the right sense of the word?
Like when you look at the entire AI stack, there are in short 5 layers to that. First is the energy layer, which is required for powering the compute that you have. Then we have the infrastructure layer. Infrastructure layer means setting up data centers with which you can build AI compute. Third is the compute layer on which you rely on the big NVIDIA chips and all to build train AI models. Then there is the models layer, and then there is applications layer. So across these 5 layers, if any country wants to be sovereign, they will need to have capability across all these 5 layers. Currently, if you look at India's position, energy, we are like pretty self-sufficient. We are one of the world's largest producers of renewable energy, green energy, which can power data centers. So we are there when it comes to energy. Next comes the data center layer, the infrastructure layer. So the cost of building data centers in India is amongst the lowest in the world, almost half of what it is in the US and the Middle East. So a lot of investments in data centers you are hearing here. Google made an announcement, Microsoft made an announcement, Amazon made an announcement, Indian companies also investing in data centers. So infrastructure also, we are pretty good when it comes to provisioning for AI models and trainings. The next layer, the biggest challenging layer, is the compute layer, in which currently only one company dominates. They have almost 90% of the market share, NVIDIA. So on compute, we do not have Indian chips that are designed, but our semiconductor mission, our design linked incentive scheme is working towards that. So maybe in a few years, we will have our own compute AI chip that we will be able to design. So that's something that we don't have currently. When it comes to models, currently we are dependent on the models from the West, especially the chat GPTs of the world and Gemini and Claude and Grok. But we are investing into, as I mentioned, building Indian foundation models. 12 projects are being funded, and we do hope that in the next month or so we will be coming out with Indian models. So that dependency will be reduced to a great extent. And then applications use case, the last layer of the AI stack, therein we have sufficient capability, and the applications and solutions that we are building in the key sectors of healthcare or education or agriculture or supply chain logistics or manufacturing are applications that we are proud of, and these applications can actually serve not only India but the whole world. So if you look at the entire sovereign stack, but for the compute layer and the foundation layer for some time, we are there at almost all the layers.
Got it. And sir, for the upcoming AI Impact Summit, right? What are the kind of showcase we are putting out to the world? Because a lot of global players are going to come and look at India's AI development. And secondly, what kind of announcements can we expect or partnerships which might come up?
See, like our summit has become, it's a 4th summit in the series of the summits that started from Bletchley Park to Korea to Paris, the Action Summit, and now we are doing. It has become quite big in the sense that the whole world will be coming here. We'll have heads of state, heads of government, we'll have ministers from more than 50 countries, we'll have almost all the top CEOs, you name it, and they will be here. We'll have CXOs from almost all big tech companies, all AI companies across the world. Many upcoming startups will also be represented. Indian IT industry will be represented. The top AI researchers from world over, from the top AI labs will be coming here. So that way we are getting a fair degree of participation when it comes to that. So using this as an opportunity, we are trying to showcase how we are building our AI ecosystem. So whether it's our innovative compute financing model, common compute layer that we are building up, whether it's our approach to building Indian foundation models, whether it's our approach to enabling voice-enabled services, whether it's our approach towards building AI applications in the key sectors, using AI for solving, for diagnosing diseases like tuberculosis, cataract, diabetic retinopathy, or using AI for giving advisory services in the mother tongue to farmers, or using AI for building tools for educating children, for building personalized learning plans. So all these repository of solutions, we will be making it available through our startups, through our researchers to the whole world. In addition, we have invested a lot in building safe and trustworthy tools for ensuring that AI is responsible, ethical. So whether it's bias mitigation tools, or whether it's ethical AI certification tools, or whether it's stress testing tools, or machine learning tools, or privacy preservation, or anonymization, or tools for detecting deep fakes, for labeling AI generated content, these tools also will be showcased to the world, and maybe they will become like a part of AI commons which the whole world will adopt. We are also getting a lot of interest from the countries, the global south, with regard to, because they have been looking up to India with regard to how we have used technology for solving governance challenges, our DPI story, our India stack story. In the same line, on the same playbook, many of these countries are looking at how India is building its AI capabilities. So we are working with these countries. We will be, our Prime Minister has said that we can offer these services, these solutions to the global community. India can emerge as a trusted partner for building AI applications and services. Like as AI gets adopted, the whole world is moving from building LLMs and foundation models to doing something what is known as agentic AI. So we will need agents for doing multiple purposes. Enterprises will need, businesses will need, countries will need. So our Indian IT industry is well positioned to offer these services, these agentic AI services to the larger global community. So to that extent, we see this summit as a huge opportunity to showcase our capability, our potential of becoming a major player in the AI space. While we are not there where China and the US are, but the kind of efforts that are being made by Indian industry and startups and academia, we are sure to catch up with the best and maybe leapfrog.
Right. And while India does have a superpower in building the applications layer or the agentic layer, like you were saying, we're still dependent on the LLMs from global companies. What kind of view are we taking of their entry into India? What are the safeguards, when?
See, first and foremost, we have to build our own capability. Towards that, we are making efforts. Our industry, our startups, our academia, they are making efforts. Whether it's Sarvam, whether BharatGen and other companies, they are doing that. We are behind them, but we are sure to catch up. So those efforts are going on, and we will surely be able to build something that we need. Maybe it will not be the state of the art like artificial general intelligence, but they will be good enough to solve the problems that we have. Number two, traditionally India has not been averse to entry of the big tech offering the services, so whether it's Google or Microsoft or Meta, they have been operating in India for a long time. So we are not there per se to stop them, ban them, block them as such. But we are aware that the greater the adoption of these solutions happens in India, the greater the diffusion happens, the greater the so-called free approaches happens. Ultimately, they all are looking at the data that comes from India. So the Indians who start using them, thinking that they are free services, we are actually sharing our data, our information with these AI labs, and they are ultimately benefiting from learning from India's data and usage. So ultimately, we are not getting these services for free. Indians are working for these AI models for free. So we have to realize that nuance and think of that as and when Indian applications, Indian tools are made available, we have to try to ensure that we use only those solutions which ensure complete AI sovereignty, which ensures that our data remains in India, solutions which remain understandable, solutions which remain explainable, and solutions which have the potential of scaling up not only in India but across the world.
Right, and to be proactive about overseeing the entry of multiple players into India, you did mention the governance layer. Could you expand on what shape it would take? Would we actually be looking at an AI specific law in the coming times, or how are we looking to regulate this?
See, as has been articulated earlier by at various forums, we believe that the current level of AI risks can be addressed by the regulations and the laws which are there, whether it's the IT provisions of the IT Act, the anti-money guidelines, the guidelines with regard to labeling of AI generated content, the provisions of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. So the current level of risk can be managed by the existing legal regulations that we have. But as AI progresses, as AI goes into agentic AI and AI goes into say physical AI, if AI goes into an era when we have robots operating and autonomous vehicles on the roads, and when the existing laws will not be able to address those risks, then definitely there will be a need for thinking of a AI regulation or AI law to handle that level of risks. So as of now, we are good with the current level of regulation, but it does not foreclose the requirement of a AI law in the days to come as the technology expands and goes into areas for which the current laws may not be sufficient.
Right. And sir, overall, in terms of investments into India's AI mission, What is the outlook? How much has been deployed, and what part of it are we looking at for the coming years?
See, the current level of investments, very often we start comparing the investments that are announced by global corporations globally with the investments that the government is making here. So I think like one fallacy very often in comes is that people start thinking that Stargate is $500 billion, India AI mission is 1 billion. But Stargate is not the government of US investment. This is government of India's investment, and when we compare the likes to likes, we should look into the investments which the businesses are making. Like for example, even for the AI mission, when we look at like our outlay is just 10,000 crores, $1.2 billion. But when it comes to the compute that has been set up, like the 38,000 GPUs has been set up, 38,000 GPUs provisioning of that infrastructure will itself in the excess of $2 billion. But that we don't count as a government investment because that's a private sector investment. We have heard announcement about Jio setting up a 1 gigawatt AI compute infrastructure. That's again the industry's contribution. We have heard about Google setting up a $15 billion data center, Microsoft investing 17 billion. If we sigma all of it, then our AI investment within India, whether it concerns energy or whether it concerns data centers or whether we concerns compute or investments in building AI applications or training people for building AI, becomes much more. So, and we do believe that with the current level of excitement that is there and the current level of AI companies, the way they are looking at India as a place for sourcing talent, in the days to come we will see significant investments by VCs and by funds in Indian companies, Indian startups, Indian researchers, where that's where the opportunity will lie. So investments are growing. It's not as much as we hear from the West, but I see that in the next 3 to 5 years, anywhere between 100 to 200 billion dollars will be invested in India's AI ecosystem. See, like what I would like to say is that the next few weeks till the run up to the AI summit is very critical. We are expecting a lot of people to come in and to showcase AI solutions. So India will be emerging as a strong AI nation, and one reason because of which it's happening, of course I mentioned about talent and all, but the other thing that makes digital solutions acceptable, adoptable and scalable is the policy support that we get, and that is going to be key as we move forward in the race to catching up with the best in the world and maybe matching them up in the days to come.
That's great, sir, and thank you so much. We look forward to the AI summit in the coming days.